Welcome. You're joining us for the deep dive. Today we're looking into some really powerful material. It's a mix of devotionals and scripture from Ezekiel 23. Our goal here is to explore this strong warning, but also a really profound promise. We want to see what happens when core principles get forgotten, the real costs of deliberately turning away, and then the grace that's offered instead. Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah, and what's fascinating, I think, looking at these sources like forgetting God destroys life and staying close, they really frame this as clear cause and effect. Forgetting isn't just passive. The sources emphasize that forgetting God isn't neutral. It leads to destruction. It's also like a natural law is being described.
And the source material, especially Ezekiel 23, uses this incredibly vivid imagery. It talks about Israel, specifically Oholibah, which represents Jerusalem, deliberately turning its back, treating God's law like trash, as the text puts it. So it wasn't just drifting. It was like an active choice.
Exactly. An active ignoring. Ezekiel uses these really intense allegories, doesn't he? Depicting this spiritual unfaithfulness as lewdness and whoring. It sounds harsh, but it conveys the depth of the betrayal being described.
It really does. So what were the tangible consequences, the things you could actually see happening because of this abandonment?
Well, Ezekiel 23, verses 22 through 35, paints a really stark picture. It's quite shocking, actually, because, and this is the text speaking, "You have forgotten me and cast me behind your back. They would bear the consequences of your lewdness and whoring."
Okay, so direct consequence.
Direct consequence.
Yeah.
And it meant that their former lovers, which is a metaphor here for their foreign alliances, like the Babylonians and Chaldeans, those very same groups would be stirred up against them.
Wow. So the ones they turned to for help became the problem.
Precisely. A tragic irony.
And the judgment wasn't just, political fallout. It sounds deeply personal, humiliating. The text says they'd be stripped of clothes, jewels.
Stripped of dignity, really, their identity.
And having their nose and ears cut off, survivors devoured by fire, left naked and bare. It's brutal. And then there's that phrase about drinking a cup of horror and desolation, just like their sister Samaria. What's going on with that cup?
That cup, the cup of horror and desolation, it's a recurring biblical metaphor. It represents divine judgment, complete ruin, public shame. It's not subtle.
Right.
And bringing up sister Samaria is key. Samaria, the northern kingdom, had already gone through this. They'd faced destruction for similar reasons. So it's like saying, you saw what happened. You knew the cost of ignoring these foundational principles, and yet
You did it anyway.
you chose the same path. It underlines that the consequences aren't just random punishment. They're presented as the natural, inevitable result of rejecting the source of life, of order. The text keeps saying, you yourself must bear the consequences.
That's a heavy picture.
Yeah.
Really drives home the cost of turning away. It's quite unsettling. But, and this feels like a crucial turn, the devotionals don't just leave it there, right? Amidst all this darkness, they point towards healing.
Yes, exactly. And that raises the big question. How can such a heavy price possibly be paid? That weight seems unbearable.
It does.
And this is where the concept of grace just transforms the whole picture. The sources are very clear. This weight of guilt, this overwhelming consequence, it carries a price that only Jesus' blood could pay.
Ah, okay. So connecting it to Jesus.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The insight is that Jesus bore the ultimate consequence of our sin on the cross. So that crushing weight we talked about, it's been lifted, it's been paid for.
Which
Means we don't have to carry it.
Yeah.
Grace allows us, as the devotional puts it, to draw near again. No shame, no fear. And the motivation changes. It's not staying close out of guilt, but out of, sheer gratitude.
A completely different foundation for that relationship.
Totally different.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening? I think our dive into Ezekiel 23 really highlights two things. The severe inherent cost of deliberately forgetting foundational principles, spiritual or otherwise, and also the incredible redemptive power available when you turn back towards them.
Right. The choice presented is stark. Try to bear an unbearable weight yourself, or accept the freedom offered through a grace already paid. It really leaves you with a question to consider, doesn't it? What are the foundational principles you're holding on to? And maybe, what happens when they get ignored in your own life?